Hi everyone, welcome to Be Heard Teen Reads this week. We're going to be talking about some of the mini collections that we bring to our different outreach sites. So to get started, I want to talk about African American voices. When we share these items with our partners, these mini collections, I like to make sure that there's a wide range, that they're relatable, and that they have something for everybody in them. As you look through these titles, I hope that you see that too. I've selected 3 for us to talk about in depth. In Not So Pure and Simple, Dell has a crush on Kira and accidentally signs up to be in a purity pledge at their church. Now, this is a tough thing for a young man as he's trying to get the girl and win her heart. Now, I picked this one because not only did it have excellent reviews, but it had a unique take that isn't often seen. With a purity pledge, Dell looking to get the girl, a male main character, that was really important. But I also got real Aladdin Jasmine vibes from this book because Dell doesn't ever ask Kira what she wants, just thinks about, winning her hand, as they say. So I picked this one because it had a really unique take, and I wanted to make sure that it was included in the African American Voices collection. Love is a Revolution is written by Renee Watson, who's written quite a few other African American Voices novels and children's books. This one really caught my attention because not only did it have excellent reviews again, but it has a modern-sized main character who is discovering that true love is not the only thing that matters. It's more about loving yourself and finding out who you really are. Nala is looking to find her true love in Ty, and during her quest to impress Ty, she ends up telling a few white lies and moving further away from who she is as a person. So this book is really about self-love, finding yourself, making sure that you know who you are before you try and take that leap into loving someone else. And because of that, I added that into this collection as well. Grown is written by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I happen to love her. I read one of her books called Allegedly, and it kind of stays with you a long time, and I'm guessing that Grown is the same type of book. Excellent reviews on this one again. This is about Enchanted Jones, and one morning she wakes up with blood on her hands, and the person that she is working for, Corey Fields, is dead. Everybody thinks that Enchanted Jones has done it. Enchanted is a singer. She met Corey when she was trying to make it big, and Corey was helping her into stardom. But Enchanted soon figures out that this world that Corey lives in is not all it's cracked up to be, and that there is a much darker side to this business than she realizes. One of the things I really like about Jackson is that she has a way of making her books like onions. You never know quite what the next turn is going to be, and so this seems kind of like it'll be a murder mystery all tied into finding yourself, personal revelations and things like that. So I was really excited to add this one. The next mini collection is Female Voices, and this one has a lot more nonfiction in it, which, I'm not really a nonfiction reader, but I know a lot of people are. So as you look through these titles, you'll see that. I also tried to include a couple graphic novels, some short stories, just trying to make sure that that female perspective was shown. The thing that was really tough about this collection is that there are so many YA books that have really great, strong female characters. The first pick for the Female Voices mini collection that I want to highlight is Legendborn. And can we just take a second and look at this awesome cover? I mean, come on, that's amazing. So this book, I didn't really know a lot about it. I had a lot of my librarian friends raving about it, and so I wanted to pick it just because of that, honestly. But it is a fantasy book about demons and not superpowers, so to speak, but people who are born with the ability to hunt these demons. And Bree, our main character, has her mother die, and she realizes after seeing one of these demons attack someone that there's more to her mother's death than meets the eye. And so she is supposedly has her memory wiped, and obviously that didn't work out for whoever wiped her memory. She decides to infiltrate this society of legend-born students and become one of their members. Then she finds out some other stuff about this new magical demon-filled world that she didn't know before, and the book follows her to figure out how far she's willing to go and what she really wants to know. Next up is Fearless Females, The Fight for Freedom, Equality, and Sisterhood. Now, this is a graphic novel. I love this book. It is amazing. It tells the history of fearless females throughout the ages from different countries who fought for women's rights. And I can't get over how thrilled I was to discover this title. It's not an easy read by any stretch of the imagination, but it really does highlight some truly fantastic women activists who are fighting for equality, education, just activists throughout history, and who they were, what they were fighting for, and what that meant as a greater narrative for women all over the world. I really love this title, and it is a perfect fit for the Female Voices mini collection. Broken Lands is by Jonathan Mayberry, and he's the author of Rotten Ruin. Now, this title is actually a new series that's set in the world of Rotten Ruin. So if you haven't read that, it might be worth a check out. There are a lot of books in that series. This is about Gabriella, otherwise known as Gutsy, and she, this is about zombies. This whole series is about undead zombies, and I really hate zombies and the undead. But a lot of people really like zombies and the undead, and so there you go. It sounds like a book for fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Jonathan Mayberry is very much all about the disgusting kind of suspenseful scenes that go along with zombies. So I'm going to be done talking about zombies now because I really hate them. But truthfully, Gutsy is the definition of a fierce, fearless female. She's fighting zombies. The last mini collection that we're going to talk about today is Homelessness and Poverty. This is often a really poignant, tough topic for young people, teenagers especially. A lot of our community faces homelessness and poverty, and we have to be especially aware of that when we're selecting titles, when we're developing a collection, that sort of thing. And I really love this collection and all that it has to offer for young people. First up is Free Lunch. This story is by Rex Ogle, but is also about Rex. Rex is a young man, a young sixth grader, just entering sixth grade, who is struggling with poverty. He is on a free lunch program, hence the title. And it's hard for the people and fellow students of his community to understand what that means for Rex. It means that he has to feel left out when he's telling the lunch lady that he is on a free meal program, despite everybody else being able to pay. It's hard for him when he shows up in a homemade costume for Halloween. It's hard for him knowing that he's going home to someplace that he doesn't want to show his friends or the people of the community. And this read, of course, fits into this category of homelessness and poverty beautifully. But the reason that I picked this, not only because it has stunning reviews, but is because it's such an authentic look at what it's like to be a young person, a young middle schooler who is living as a poor kid, as a poor person who grows up seeing what everybody else has and they can't. So I think that this is such a great read for looking at the experience of poverty, which I don't want to downplay it by calling it an experience, but it is a life experience, and it's something that everyone should be able to read about because it's such an important thing to see how people live, whether it's poverty and homelessness, whether it's reading about different cultures. That's part of the journey of reading, is to make sure that you are able to see different experiences and be empathetic towards those experiences, having read about them. This leads us really perfectly into the next book that I wanted to highlight, called Paper Things. I read this book a few years ago. It was published in 2015, and it has stuck with me ever since. It is such a powerful story about a brother who is trying to keep his little family together. Ari is a young person, again, I believe she's in 6th grade, and her mother dies. When her mother dies, her brother and her are put into the system and are given a guardian. But Gage, her brother, does not approve of the guardian and wants to strike out on their own. But that leads Ari and Gage to a lot of difficulties, a lot of tough situations, from couch surfing to trying to hide how desperate their situation actually is. And even though Gage is truly, truly trying to keep their family together and be good to Ari, just the lengths and hardships that he has to go through as a young person himself are very touching and heartbreaking at the same time. The reason this book is called Paper Things is because throughout the story, Ari keeps a folder of things that she's cut out that she wants for her life, basically what she thinks home really looks like, and those are her paper things. It's the one thing that she's able to really keep with her as she goes through this homelessness with her brother Gage. I think for this last one, I'm just going to read the summary because I think that tells you more than my rambling could about this book. Genesis Begins Again is by Alicia D. Williams, and it is the story of a 13-year-old girl who is filled with self-loathing and must overcome internalized racism and verbally abusive family to finally learn to love herself. There are 96 things Genesis hates about herself. She knows the exact number because she keeps a list. Like number 95, because her skin is so dark, people call her charcoal and eggplant, even her own family. And number 61, because her family is always being put out of their house, belongings laid out on the sidewalk for the world to see. When Genesis reaches number 100 on the list of things she hates about herself, will she continue on, or can she find the strength to begin again? Genesis Begins Again went on to win the Newbery Medal, so it's well worth the read, even though it is definitely a tough one. Our mini collections are all about reading diversely and opening our eyes to new experiences, new people, new places, new things. And that is what Read Woke is all about. I hope that you were able to discover a title that you might be potentially interested in through these mini collections. And we'll hopefully be highlighting a few more coming up. So keep looking for new books, keep looking for new experiences, and keep reading woke.